And welcome back, everybody, to a podcast in space and time. I'm Holden B. Huffman.
And I'm Kendal Coffee.
And today we are talking about Doctor Who Series 2, Episode 5, Rise of the Cybermen. So join us here in just a moment. A whim away, 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 a whim away,
Mighty jungle.
a whim away, a whim away, a whim away, a whim away,
The lion
away,
sleeps
a whim
tonight.
away. Okay, I did not intentionally mean for that to start being the Doctor Who intro, but that worked perfectly.
You started to go up on the whim away, and I was like, okay, he's doing a bit here, and it's very good.
No, that's not what I intended.
Okay, well, it just worked out that well.
Yeah, wow. Yay for us.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, we're back.
So,
Yeah, come up to the microphone a little bit more, if you can.
okay, how's that?
That's good. Hang on. Maybe it's just my volume. No, my volume's good. Okay, hang on. Let me readjust my volume. No, my volume is 100%. I don't know. We're good.
Okay, I'll try to project a little more.
Yeah, just project a little bit more.
Speak from the chest or whatever. I don't know.
It's from the stomach. You got to do
stomach.
it from the stomach, from the gut.
From the stomach.
Yeah, no, never do it from your chest. I mean, unless you're trying to get something specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, yeah, Doctor Who. Back to that.
Doctor Who.
Okay, that scientist dude should have just started running as soon as he just should have started running. Like, come on.
He had like such obvious I'm going to be the first to die vibes that he was not catching on.
Yeah, it was like, come on, man. We all know it.
The villain guy. Oh, what was his name?
Sionis, I think.
Hold on. I'm going to bring up the...
Yeah, that might be a good thing. Bring up the Wikipedia.
I'm going to bring up the Wikipedia page for this episode.
Yeah, we usually do. We forgot this time. Rise of the Cybermen.
Rise of the Cybermen. John Lumick was the villain name.
John Lumick. Okay.
Yeah. He just gave off such villainous vibes. I know we made this joke several times, but he really needed a mustache to twirl in this episode.
Yeah.
Which, like, there are definitely certain villains like that this show has done that have not worked very well, but it really worked for me in this episode.
Yeah. Like, this was a very campy episode, but in a good way. It was a good campy episode.
Yeah, like we did the bit, but when they played The Lion Sleeps Tonight, that one scene while all the people were being upgraded, just like a very good campy moment.
Right, but it also kind of enhanced the creepiness as well. Kind of like in Age of Ultron, the whole there are no strings on me thing.
Yeah, which was really funny because that was like right after Disney had bought Marvel. So like everybody was like, oh, okay, well, Disney's just going to start doing tie-ins to their own properties now.
Right.
Which they kind of did, but it was, I think it was, I guess, more of like a...
I mean, it worked. It really fit into it.
Yeah, it did work. It didn't feel like too shoehorned in. There have been other like Disney jokes in Marvel movies that I've felt were a little too on the nose, but
right. Okay, there is no way Mickey would have survived being that close to that explosion.
Yeah.
Because he was literally leaning into the TARDIS, pressing the button, let go, boom.
It was a big old explosion, and yeah, it was literally right in his face.
Yeah. Like, he would at least have some kind of bruises and scarring, but no, he came out perfectly clean.
He has plot armor.
Yeah. First introduction of the multiverse.
Yeah, which, yeah, this is not a thing we've seen before, at least in New Who.
I don't think it's been in Classic Who either.
Which was, I found it odd that the Doctor kind of implied that, like, you know, when the Time Lords were still around, access to other universes was really easy. So it's odd that this is like they kind of had that line, but it wasn't really a thing in Old Who.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know. It is very possible.
Yeah.
But to my knowledge, it's not.
All the old Whovians out there, if you know whether or not we've seen the multiverse before, let us know.
Yes, please.
Yeah, but it's a great. I mean, it's a very natural fit for Doctor Who to visit a parallel world.
Right.
I would be wildly surprised if we have not seen this before, at least in like you know the very long run of Classic Who.
And we really don't see it anymore.
No, I was thinking, I was like racking my brain trying to think, like, do we see an alternate universe story again? And not really.
No, not really. But we should probably leave that off because this is non-spoilers.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a great concept. You know, there's a lot of mileage you can get out of it with like alternate versions of the characters. We have the Mickey Ricky situation,
right? And I just love that his name is actually Ricky.
I thought it was very funny, and it's one of those things that like it's obviously more for the joke because you know everyone else in this universe,
the Doctor calls him Ricky,
right? Because like everybody else in the alternate universe has the same name. So it's kind of strange as one person has a different name. But you know, it's a good kind of payoff to the Doctor calling him Ricky all the time.
Right. You know, last night I was listening back to our episode of Father's Day, and I was going, man, I really miss Pete Tyler. And I forgot we were going to be recording today and that the episode has Pete Tyler.
You get more of Pete. Yeah, he's great, and the actor is great. Sean Digwall.
Yeah, no, the other times I've watched it, I've just never really. Yeah, no, you're fine. The other times I've just never really thought that much of Pete, but I don't know. I really like Pete.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's something so like charismatic about him as a character, and like he's a very unassuming looking person, but I don't know. There's just a lot of personality there. Like you wouldn't see Pete on the street and think, "Oh, that's somebody special," but like.
I think maybe that's it because, like, also what we talked about in Father's Day, there was a scene where the Doctor was talking to the couple getting married, and they were saying that they were just so unimportant, and the Doctor's like, "You two are so important," and also the going in with Father's Day of Rose saying, "It's not like I saved somebody important." And the Doctor's like, no, an ordinary man is the most important man in the universe.
Yeah. And that's one thing I love so much about this show is how much emphasis it puts on just like ordinary people being important. Because, you know, you have like so many stories that are about like a chosen one or about, you know, a like rich and famous billionaire or whatever, but like in this show you have your Pete Tylers, you have your Rose Tylers, you have your Rorys, you have your Grahams, like those types of characters that your Wilfreds, you know, those characters that
we'll get later.
Yeah, we'll meet all those people later, but like those characters that are so ordinary and yet they
so important.
yeah,
at the same time.
because like they make these amazing choices and do these amazing things. And like, yes, the Doctor is like big and important, but like, again, it's because the Doctor chose to steal a time machine and like, fly off into the universe, and like among the Time Lords, the Doctor is not really special. Like, the Doctor is a Time Lord, but because of the Doctor's choices, that's what makes the Doctor such a special character. Not like, not like being born great or something.
You may want to retract that once we get to series 12.
I was trying not to say anything about it. We'll talk about that later.
That spoiler section, let's just leave it at that. Let's not even talk about it in the spoiler section.
Yeah, but within the context of like where the show is at right now and like what we know about the show, that's who the Doctor is.
Jackie is a lot worse this time around.
Jackie's definitely worse. It's like, I mean, Jackie as a just kind of, I guess, like middle class or lower middle class person is like, she has her Jackie sassiness and her Jackie annoyingness, but like adding wealth and privilege on top of that just makes her so much worse.
Yeah. And oh gosh, Rose is a dog.
Rose is a dog.
I love it so much.
That's just such a good goof. I loved that. The way she kept calling for Rose, and then like she said something about, oh, she's gonna need a bath tonight. And then you find out, oh, it's just this little doggy.
And fun fact, my friend Corey Kendal, you obviously know Corey.
Yes.
He has a dog exactly the same breed. Her name is Rose Tyler. They named her after that gag.
That's very good.
Can we talk about how Doctor Who predicted AirPods?
Yeah. I thought that was funny because they're called earpods in the episode, but yeah, it sounds a lot like AirPods, and it's like the same concept, although AirPods don't have the mind control, I hope. But yeah, it's like this wireless earpieces. But yeah, I thought that was funny that like you had a very similar name.
And also, what's his name? John Luminous? What was it?
Lumic. Yeah.
John Lumic.
Played by Roger Lloyd Peck.
Yeah, I see that. My plans. He's totally not evil.
Nobody has ever said something about their plans, unless
he was twiddling his fingers, like he had his whole fingers up, like what's his name from The Simpsons, the owner of the nuclear plant.
I have no idea.
I can't remember his name. I've been watching The Simpsons lately. So
the most I've seen of The Simpsons is the steamed hams bit.
Okay. Well, I've been watching Simpsons lately, so it's fresh on the mind.
Okay. Yeah, he was doing like the villainous finger tapping. He was talking about his plans. Also, he has a like, I guess, hench person named Mr. Crane, which
really gave us Michael Caine's Michael Caine's Alfred from the Dark Knight trilogy. I was almost about to say Michael Keaton, which is Batman. But
yeah, he had a very similar vibe to like what Michael Caine usually puts on, like same accent, and then like just the way he like says Mister, and he's got kind of that like just kind of that same vibe. Although I thought he kind of looked like the Alfred from the Michael Keaton movies.
Oh yeah, he kind of did. He did look like Alfred from the Michael Keaton, the Tim Burton Schumacher films.
Yeah, So,
Oh,
just like
you
all
know,
around.
Schumacher died just not too long ago.
Did he?
Yeah, he died just a few months. From audience perspective, about 6 months ago. Our perspective, 1 or 2 months ago.
Hmm. Rest in peace.
Yeah, like he actually, from what I heard, he did a lot of good movies. I've not seen them. Only films I've seen by him are Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I think he gets. I mean, he probably gets a really bad rap just because of those movies.
Mm,
But
right,
that's obviously not all he made, and he was put
right.
onto those projects like because he was a like seasoned filmmaker.
Hmm. And like from what I've heard, he was a genuinely really good guy, and like he regrets the way he did Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, but that's what Warner Brothers wanted him to do.
Yeah, like obviously they were playing up the campiness of the
Hmm.
characters and kind of playing off of the like Adam
Adam West.
West Batman aesthetic. Yeah.
And it was also because of the Tim Burton's Batman Returns. Like like the toys got pulled off the shelf because the movie was so violent that the people didn't want to sell the toys like that for movies like that.
Right, yeah. They wanted to make something more for the kids. And like
Right.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Um
Why do
I
they
mean they
got?
are very entertaining movies.
They are, but why do they got to treat my boy Mickey like that?
Mickey I was so I mean I've been upset about like Mickey's treatment in the past, but this is definitely an episode where we really see just like Mickey is just kind of feels like the punching bag
Mm-hmm.
and for almost the entire episode. And I don't really understand why. Like why what I don't really understand what it adds to the story for Mickey to just like be, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um always second banana to the doctor.
He's the tin dog.
Yeah, he's the tin dog, and like Rose Tyler treats him poorly, and then the doctor also treats him poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was one when he was talking to his grandmother,
Mm.
and he was talking about like how useless he is, and I felt like he has gotten that because of how like he's feeling that way because of how the doctor and Rose have treated him.
Right. And also, just to note on that, that was such a sweet moment between
That
them.
was a very good moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked that scene a lot. But yeah, I mean, he was saying how useless he was. I was like, man, like the way, because like up to this point, like at least for the most part, it seemed just kind of like a gag that
Right.
Mickey is kind of that the Doctor and Rose are always kind of like putting Mickey down, which like
Mm-hmm.
it's an unfortunate gag, but it was kind of treated as a gag for the most part up to this point. But like
Right.
it has obviously very much affected him.
Right. Very much.
Yeah.
We got a very subtle Torchwood moment. Like it was
Yes.
kind of hard to hear. I barely caught it.
Yeah, it was in one of like the news reports that came up on
Rose's
Rose's
phone.
phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's totally trust the men coming up in the big tractor trailer with wearing lab coats. I'm sure they have food.
uh,
Why? And also, did they not notice that other guy just filming them? He was standing right there.
yeah, that scene all around was a little bit strange.
Mm-hmm.
Which like there were several kind of strange scenes in this episode. Um,
Mm-hmm.
let's see.
Why is it always 24 hours?
Yeah, I caught that too. I think it's. I mean, it is
It's like
like.
from Into the Spider-Verse. You have 24 hours.
I mean, I guess like it's a very sort of shorthand thing, like because there are certain tropes that are like this. You
Mm-hmm.
say something like 24 hours instead of like 18 hours or 14 hours, because like the audience isn't going to remember that.
Mm.
The audience is going to remember 24 hours, and that's going to like be a very concrete thing they can keep in their minds. Okay, we have one day.
Mm-hmm. And it's also like with Disney princess stuff, or like be back by midnight and stuff like that. It's always midnight.
Yeah.
I mean, just once, like I would love to see something be like, you have to be back by 3:15 in the afternoon.
Well, but like, okay, I can give fairy tales a pass because like midnight is a very like it's a significant number for like fairy tales and like myths and stuff. Like it's it's like, you know, it marks it marks like the witching hour, you know, a point of importance in the day for like magic stuff.
Okay, nerd.
Honey, we are doing a Doctor Who podcast. You can't okay nerd me.
It's true. It's very true. Okay, the weirdest moment of the episode, the soldiers letting Mickey through.
That was strange.
He is the number one. Well, okay, Ricky is, but they're literally the same flesh and bone and everything.
Yeah.
He is literally London's most wanted. They do not recognize him.
They do not recognize him, and they just like let him stroll into like, I guess, a military complex or something.
Yeah, probably.
I have no idea what it was. Or some kind of barricade. I don't think it was a military complex.
Either way. It was odd. I got very Iron Man 3 vibes with the whole plot of like the brain extensions and everything. Like that was very extremist for Iron Man 3.
Mm.
I don't know if you caught that, but I did.
It's been a hot minute since I've seen Iron Man 3. I honestly don't remember much of the actual plot.
Okay. Okay, there is a big plot hole in this.
Okay.
The internet. They got the information that I can't remember his name again. The evil dude. I'm going to call him the evil dude. The evil dude in the wheelchair. They got information over the internet that he was going to go attack the Tyler's residence.
Yeah.
How did they get that information through the internet if the evil dude controls the internet?
Yeah, I thought that was odd. I thought it would have made a lot more sense if they had gotten it from like, you know, another rebel informant like out on the field.
Mm-hmm.
It was really weird that it came like through a computer.
Right. The evil dude could have just been like, oh, they know we're coming. Let's just not do anything now.
Which I guess, like, supposedly they're like, you know, these high-tech cyber hackers or whatever.
Yeah, but still.
But yeah, it was odd. It was an odd choice.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since they, like, you know, refuse to be connected and everything.
Right. Okay, I have the word connection written down on my notes, and I don't know why. I don't know why.
I did think it was a very natural, like...
Oh, that's what it was. That's what... I remember. Just that Pete really connected with Rose. Like,
oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, really trusted her for some reason. And he even said, why am I telling you this? I don't know who you are. I've never met you in my life.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. And I love, like... that aspect of a story where, you know, you feel where two characters like feel a connection that goes beyond like time or beyond their universe or whatever. I think it's very cool.
Kind of like in Avatar with like when Aang becomes Korra and like Korra still has connections with like Toph and everyone.
Yeah. Same kind of thing.
Right.
I was actually going to say, I was going to reference Interstellar.
Oh. What were you going to reference?
Just like the ending and how Matthew McConaughey's character is able to like kind of reach through time because
Mm.
of his connection to
Oh,
Murph.
gotcha. Man, I need to see that. It's been a long time.
That's a great film.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that. Okay, I got Wallace and Gromit, the wrong trousers vibes from this. Like
From
just
the
seeing the legs of the Cybermen march around, I'm like, this is Wallace and Gromit.
even the sound effect was very similar.
It was the same.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if they maybe didn't like grab that sound effect from like the same,
Mm-hmm. Just kind
stock
of
sound library.
right. Um, First off, just a great reveal with the Cybermen.
Mhm.
We talked about during the episode while we were watching it, like, is it really a spoiler to have the title Rise of the Cybermen? But really, the first shot is the Cyberman, so not really.
Yeah, I feel like if a classic Whovian was watching this episode, they probably would have caught on
Mm-hmm.
pretty much in the first scene.
Mm-hmm.
So, the name wouldn't have really spoiled it for them.
Right.
Uh,
And then for a new Whovian, they see the name, they don't know what it is.
right. They're not familiar with the Cybermen yet because, they just started with season 1 and we
Right.
haven't seen them yet.
Right, and I just really appreciate like the reveal. It was really great of like how they didn't fully show them until they started marching towards the house.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool shot where like we see them kind of blurrily in the distance, and as they get closer, they get more in focus.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not really the type of camera work we have seen much of in this show.
Right, and again, props to Nicholas Briggs for voicing the Cybermen as well as the Daleks.
Mm,
Same voice actor. I give him props for that.
very, very
Also,
dark.
really good costume design for the Cybermen.
They look great.
Because classic Who Cybermen, a lot of them sucked. Like the original ones, they were bad.
Yeah.
They were really bad. Like they literally had a flashlight on the top of their heads. And yeah. So just like the way they did it for this was really good. This is probably one of my favorite Cybermen designs.
Yeah. And it is kind of, I mean, it is very like dated at this point. Like this is
It is
very
true.
it is a very like mid 2000s design aesthetic, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
Especially considering like, this episode is like set in like it is set in the mid 2000s in an alternate world, but like these would have been Cybermen that would have been designed with the help of this corporation. Like it makes sense that it has that aesthetic.
Right. And like these Cybermen are completely different from the classic Who Cybermen.
Mm-hmm.
They are in no way related to those. These are a brand new breed of Cybermen. Because like it's an alternate universe. This is when they were first created in this alternate universe.
Right.
So they're not the same from the past Cybermen. Sorry.
Yeah, and we see quite a few things like that happen in New Who, which like I don't really mind. I find it interesting for the most part when Doctor Who kind of reinvents old Who stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not an old Whovian, and maybe old Whovians would find it really annoying. But
yeah,
as a new Whovian, I enjoy it.
And just want to note the first appearance by the Cyberman was in William Hartnell, the first Doctor's last serial, The 10th Planet. And yeah, just wanted to note that. You have anything else for non-spoilers?
One line that I really enjoyed that I wrote down was when the Rose and the Doctor are talking about like how how Pete and Jackie are like together in this universe, and but Rose is not there. And Rose has her mom in her own universe, and the Doctor says all these different worlds, and not one of them gets it right.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very kind of a line that, like, it works for the context, but it has such
Right.
a deeper meaning to it.
Right. It really does. It really does.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good line.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get into spoiler territory. Spoiler warning. I can't believe Rose dies in this one.
Now, are we talking Rose the puppy or Rose the human person?
Dude, if Rose the puppy dies, I am through with this show.
I would quit the show. Quit the show, quit the fandom.
Yeah, no.
Quit the podcast.
Actual Rose? I don't care. Doggy Rose, quit the show, quit the fandom.
Doggy Rose is the most important character to me in all of Doctor Who, and that is that.
Yep. I really don't have that many spoiler notes.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just want to briefly mention just the Cybermen, because like the Cybermen we see later on aren't the same Cybermen from here. Because the next time we see these Cybermen are in the series finale, the Army of Ghosts and Doomsday for this season.
Yeah.
And then after that, we don't see him again until a Christmas special, The Next Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the last we see of these particular breed of Cybermen.
Yeah.
Because later, the rest are the actual Cybermen from the 10th planet, from Mondas. That's where the Cybermen originated in the actual universe, with Mondas.
Yeah, which, it makes sense because, like, obviously these are alternate universe Cybermen. It makes sense that, like, we have this version and also, like, the other version.
Yeah, but it's also confusing because they use the same design later on as those Cybermen.
Well, yeah. I mean, Doctor Who does have a budget.
Okay, fine.
I can't.
Fine.
No, I get what you're saying, but I also, like, I can't fault the show for that.
Okay. Secondly, is just, and really this is my last spoiler note. Pete is Gemini. Pete is the informant.
To the rebels?
Yeah. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay, well, too bad. Pete is the one that's informing them of all this stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he warn everyone at the home, at the mansion, saying, there's an army of robots coming. Let's get out of here.
I mean, I guess he didn't want to blow his cover because...
Yeah, but if they were coming, he was going to die.
Yeah, I guess so.
It just, I don't know. It baffles me for some reason.
It does seem odd that he didn't, like, make moves to like get out of there.
Right. Like he jumped out the window right after the Doctor and Rose did.
Right.
So,
also, this isn't really a spoiler, but it's something I thought of just now. But this episode also had a very similar thing going to the what was that other episode with the space station?
The Long Game.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about
with, like, the, like, controlled news network thing.
Right, but this one does it better.
It was I'm not going to say it was subtle, but it wasn't as it was a little less in your face. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like this goes back again to the whole Doctor Who was never political until a woman became the Doctor.
Nope.
The Cybermen the Cybermen is one of the most political Doctor Who villains. You literally defeat them with emotions.
Yeah. Which, like, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that's political.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that.
I
But
don't know,
just,
maybe somebody would argue that, but
I don't know, I don't know. It just annoys me when people say Doctor Who's never been political up until this certain point, just because they decided to make the Doctor a woman.
right. Yeah. I mean,
It,
there's definitely like a lot of other things within the show that are very political.
right. Yeah.
And you know, things within this episode that are political.
Right.
We get like a little social commentary with like the you know, with the like controlled network, and um also like a little bit with like, you know, the homeless people being upgraded and the villain
Yeah.
kind of like brushing it off as if they are kind of worthless.
He gave them a purpose.
Right, yeah, that they had to be, you know, useful to his plans in order to be like valuable
Hmm.
in society.
Right.
So we get a little bit there too. But again, it's a lot, you know, it's not exactly subtle, but it's a lot subtler than like what we see in the long game, or, you know,
Orphan
episodes like
55.
54 and 55. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, no,
Um,
like I like the political episodes. It's just when they're so in your face is when I don't like them.
right. Yeah. It's like there are certain episodes that kind of like, you know, you almost have a character turning to the camera and saying, "This is bad. This thing we are showing is bad."
Hmm.
It's like, we get it, you know,
Right.
we're watching the episode, we get it.
Yeah, the Doctor just turns his or her head to the camera. Littering is bad, and then just turns back away and acts like nothing happened. It's the same thing.
Yeah. But yeah, like this is a good, I mean, this is like a better level for me as far
Hmm.
as like, you know,
Right.
not it, you know, again, not subtle, but not so very in your face.
Hmm.
Like it treats the audience as if they are a little more intelligent.
Hmm. Like the other day on Facebook, there was the on stage blog posted something, and then someone commented on, "Since when did this page become political? This is supposed to be about theater." I'm like, bro, bro, listen. Theater has been political since its conception. Shut up.
And it's really funny to me because like a lot of times when people say political, what they actually mean is this thing is presenting a viewpoint I disagree with.
Yep.
Because there are a lot of things that have like political messages in them that nobody really says anything about it, because it's like, you know, it's a political message that they agree with. But like
Right.
when it's something that's like, I don't want to say on the other side of the aisle, but I guess that's like kind of a good way of saying it. It's a
Mm.
little simple. It's a little simple, but you know, when it's something that's like outside of your like political views,
Hmm.
then that's when people tend to have these like knee jerk reactions to it.
Right. Now, it's like with Christian movies. You have all these people saying we need more good, wholesome Christian movies like God's Not Dead and stuff like that. They're okay with that. But when a movie has something that they're against, apparently it's evil and that shouldn't be shown or something. It's like, just because you disagree with it, there's people who disagree with your point of view. You can't just
Yeah.
say one thing is you you can't say we can only have one type of movie just because it's that one thing you agree with. You can't do that. But thank you for joining us on a podcast in space and time. Join us next time when we discuss and review The Age of Steel.